Welcome back. This is Lake Tahoe TV News. I'm Robert G. Scott. A suspect opened fire on South Lake Tahoe police in the early morning hours on Friday. This happened at the Three Peaks Resort on Park Avenue. Officers were called to a report of a suspect breaking into a room at that motel, and when they arrived, the suspect fired at the officers with an assault-style rifle. An officer returned fire and hit the suspect, but the suspect went into a room, which then led to a 2-hour standoff. The SWAT team and a crisis negotiator later got the suspect to surrender. The identity of the suspect has not yet been released. The Placer County Sheriff's Office says the use of deadly fentanyl is on the rise in the county. There have been several overdose cases and at least one death this month. Placer County forensic pathologist Kelly Kobolansky says just 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal and it can kill just by handling it. The county says that fentanyl is now showing up added to marijuana and vaping pens. The Centers for Disease Control says overdose deaths attributed to fentanyl increased 16% nationwide from 2018 to 2019. Nevada County has been struggling to get enough COVID vaccine to distribute widely, although vaccines are available at some locations. In Truckee, Tahoe Forest Hospital and Safeway Pharmacy are the two venues that are currently distributing vaccines. Healthcare workers, teachers, people 65 and older, food and agriculture workers, and now people with serious underlying health conditions can get the shot. myturn.ca.gov is where you can go to sign up for an appointment. Because of the high demand, even if you are eligible, it can take several weeks to get an actual appointment. The Nevada Highway Patrol, Washoe County, and Carson City Sheriff's deputies went on a wild pursuit along Highway 395 that stretched from Reno to Carson City. This happened on Tuesday after a suspect was seen driving up to 100 miles per hour. The Washoe County Sheriff's Office said the suspect waved a gun and pointed the weapon at his own head. The suspect, 51-year-old Eugene Kendall Griffin Jr., was eventually taken into custody in Carson City. He faces a long list of charges. The highway was shut down for hours during and after the pursuit. The Tahoe Regional Planning Agency has released its final draft of the 2020 Regional Transportation Plan for the Lake Tahoe Basin. The plan focuses on providing more public transit with 15-minute service between town centers and recreation areas. It calls for more trails to encourage foot and bike transportation and creates corridors for commuters, visitors, and residents. What the plan does not say is how it's going to get people out of their cars and onto buses. Now is the time of year when we normally become preoccupied with completing our taxes in time for the April 15th deadline. But because of COVID, a bit of a reprieve this year. Both the IRS and the California Franchise Tax Board have offered an extension until May 17th. The U.S. Forest Service says new trails will be constructed northeast of Truckee. 70 miles of motorcycle single track will be cut, 41 miles of user-created trails will be restored, and new trailheads will be built. The work will also open up 35 miles of trails to e-bikes. The Truckee Ranger District said eventually they envision trail connectivity between North Lake Tahoe, Truckee, Verdi, and Reno. Good news for cyclists. Stick around, there's more local news for you coming up in just a bit.